Alright, welcome back to the fight before Christmas, guys. It's a brand new best of 3 as stated before. It's still one of the determining rounds. No one's in the winners bracket, no one's in the losers bracket just yet. There's a barcode on the screen, but I'm going to get this text overlay set up. So Zombie, if you would do me the kindness of starting these intros while I get that up.
In the upper right, as the red Terran hits Jjakji.
Sickest camera work as I try and find a font that works for this. There we go. Jaedong, we'll just squeeze that in over here. I'll probably have to move this a couple times throughout the series, guys, but yeah, it's the opponent in the top left. It's going to be Evil Genius's Green Zerg player, Jaedong. And my gosh, have I been doing this whole thing with health bars always on? Yes, because we played on the Korean server last night, Zombie Grub and I, like a crazy, couple of crazy kids looking to take on the world. We actually won. I'll throw that out there. So
yeah, we got placed in silver.
Basically Grandmaster, though, compared to the rest of the world.
Exactly.
So I think this is gonna be a very different breed of TVZ. Not just, well, okay, Jjakji's actually starting with 11-11, so that's definitely gonna change this up. But I was gonna say Jjakji doesn't typically play mech as much or as frequently as Yoda does. So I mean, even if this wasn't a cheese opener, like it was still gonna be a very different series, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, this 11-11 is pretty dedicated. I would say it's 11-11, 12-14, but it is pretty far away.
Yeah, we actually see a lot of players actually throw this down near the watchtower a good chunk of the time. Or at least in that sort of area of the map, because, you know, it's a 3-player spawn, you don't quite know where it is. And for Jaedong's sake, he's not going to scout the 2x per se, but he'll see the lack of anything at the top of the ramp, and that is as big of a scout as any.
Yeah. It was possible. Like, I mean, Teja did once upon a time put his rags in random places just to scare them, just like this, but that isn't really a thing anymore. It is going to be, you know, the 2 racks, and Jaedong will know it. Now he went for a hatch first, so, you know, if he went for a pool first with gas, kind of a hard counter-ish. Doesn't mean that this is going to be absolutely terrible and he's going to lose, no. But he should get, you know, maybe some drones out here. It seems to be the most effective way to start stopping the push.
I love this bunker coming down where it is. Normally, it's not that big of a deal to put one back like this, but Marines tend to hide in this alcove from the drones anyways. And this is just that little bit of extra surface area the drones have to go around to get us surround. So, a bit of a cute move. I mean, this was revealed. The second he saw the Overlord see him, he knew what was up. Jaedong throws down 2 spine crawlers right away.
Yeah. The spine crawler way to go. I mean, there's like so many different variations of how to deal with the 2 racks. You know, there's the drone pool, and you really try and commit with drones. There's, of course, putting down spine crawlers. There's simply giving up the hatch, which doesn't seem to ever work out. But
I do strongly feel that like lots of lings and drones tend to be the best way we see this work out.
Yeah. I mean, I like the drone pool more, but occasionally that does go like really badly. The spine crawlers look like they're gonna finish though, and this is really good. I mean, 2 spine crawlers, you can actually start to frog hop them forward as opposed to just losing the one with good micro, because, you know, Terrans, they got pretty good micro. Jjakji especially, they can pop in and out, dodge the spine crawler attack if there's only just one.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
This is a little too close. Yeah, I was getting a little bit scared there on the south side. Of course, he can start popping out of the bunker as we see. Transfuse is not quite available, so this spine crawler is going to go down. That takes away a lot of the punch from this. Before it's a little bit stressful because he wouldn't have been able to out repair 2 spine crawlers, not at all. But with only 1, this is a lot more manageable.
Yeah, that is true. But luckily, like, if that was the only spine crawler that died right there, oh, that's tough. That's pretty bad. The Lings go across the map to try and catch reinforcements, that there weren't that many. They came back, I guess. Oh, okay, no, you catch a couple reinforcements. I thought they went all the way to the barracks, but Jaedong's gonna break it here. I think it'll be, yeah, I was gonna get it.
Now the problem is he did lose the Queen. Speed's not quite done yet. He'll clean this up though. Now it gets a little bit scary for Jjakji. He's got no Marines in the main. He's got to pick up and go. He's got to cancel building these right now because these 4 Marines on the outside of his wall are absolutely gonna die. Speed's finishing up here in like 3, 2, or 9, 8, 7, whatever one. Just it's finishing in about a second here, and these Marines are so dead. Jaedong's gonna maybe not get here in time. Segmented off all weird.
Yeah, so he loses a couple Lings a little bit unnecessarily. He takes down 2 Marines though. Okay, that's an even trade then. He is getting a Baneliness, but he's also droning.
Well, I think above and beyond all this is he kept that hatchery alive. I mean, that's where a lot of this falls apart for Zerg players. Baneliness or not, it wouldn't work if he didn't really have the production or the income. So We see Josh repairing the wall. You can do this. Oh, whoa, whoa. That was like, that's like running past the killer in a horror movie. Like, don't do that.
Sometimes you gotta risk it, Rifkin, except you really don't in this situation, so I don't know.
I think for Jjakji's sake, though, you have to assume banelings. You have to. Not like you should or you want to, but it's just like the most common response. So he's going to put down this barracks wall layering behind this. A factory comes down. He has to put probably an engineering bay down or two. I don't think that's a full wall off, though.
Oh, the SCV is?
I think the
no,
racks
I think
in
you'd
the
be able to
bunker?
save that SCV. No, I think that's a full wall. We'll see. We will see.
I mean, one way or the other, this does put Jjakji in a bit of a bind. He has to dedicate so much to this. So it is a wall by the looks of it. Jaedong going to go back and take that supply depot.
It doesn't even yeah, it would just burn down unless you can't reach it.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could micro through the bunker, technically. But
that's true.
Supply blocked in the worst of ways with 2 command centers and no real way to obtain this natural base. He doesn't have a reactor down for helium production. He doesn't have a widow mine. A little bit scary there's the barracks was lifted, but of course with that wall coming down, he doesn't have quite enough banelings to come through this.
Yeah, what is it? 5 for full health supply depot?
Look at the cancels that he needs.
Yeah. So I mean the cancels are still okay.
This is so rough though. I mean Jaedong can't throw away too much. He says like if he loses all the legs, then Jjakji takes his natural and he's in a pretty comfortable spot. So he has to make sure to be able to put on a little bit of pressure. But back at home, I mean, like, you're right, he droned. He's up on 30 workers. He's got a lair on the way. I don't think he's in the worst of spots at all.
Plus, all of these Lings attacking the supply depots have actually got him really good scouting. He won't see the starport that's back here, but if he constantly, goes up, that's where all the tech labs are. So if Jjakji's going to trade off, he will have to reveal the starport. And that's exactly what he does.
Alright, well, I guess for Jaedong's sake, one thing we don't really see is that Overlord in that perfect spot over here on the right to go up and scout all this.
Yeah, that would have been easier.
Yeah. Little unfortunate, but hardly screws him over. I think here's the thing, though. Like, Jjakji, he didn't go for 3 CCs behind this. Usually that's where we see a Terran player macro out of this. That's where we see a Terran player recover with very little to no issue. But the fact that it's only 2 command centers, that's a lot less mules, is a lot less income, and, well, quite frankly, a whole base less.
So he will have to reproduce Lings, or he might depend on his queens. I don't know. He's only in 2 bases, so he could depend on that ramp more so to deal with the Hellions. But he got the scout on the starport, which was nice. He can put those 4 crawlers. He actually has a lair already, so we can get an overseer.
I think he was gearing up for mutas one way or the other, though. So this is just kind of one of those situations where it affirms what he wanted to do. The scary thing, though, is it's not mech out of Jjakji as you would almost expect, being in a beaten back situation like that. He's going by, he's got stim, so these mutas aren't going to have total free reign of the map.
Oh my god. I'm a little afraid, especially since Jjakji is waiting for the second Banshee before he moves out here. I mean, it's already been scouted, so I don't know about that. Anyways, if he would target down the natural hatchery because it's so low, or that spire because there's nothing to defend it yet. It's out in the middle.
That is definitely a fear. And the queens, actually, you know what? Can we talk about how incredibly good the injects from Jaedong have been? Look at the energy on these queens. Like, these injects have been spot on. So he actually has no transfused energy. Normally you're like, okay, what a slacker, he doesn't have those larvae, but at least he's got energy for a transfuse. Jaedong has actually been playing too well to the point where he might lose a building because of it.
I thought he was waiting for a second Banshee, but the first one goes in here, so that won't be enough to like start the ball rolling when you do kill buildings or buildings.
Already an overseer on the way, but it's in the wrong spot.
Yeah, a little bit. Those 4 crawlers either. I mean, he did scout the Banshees. I don't know. I guess he thought the move was about in time, and they almost are. It's almost perfect.
I do fear a little bit, though, that Jaedong may be playing a little too close to the side of all-in rather than pure macro. His drone count is really not that high, so sustaining damage to this Banshee, 7 workers killed is actually a pretty big deal.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, second Banshee's going to do as you predicted, tries to focus the hatchery. So this one,
real?
Queens are out of position. He's actually going to get the base snipe. But the nice thing is, Jaedong can transfer down here. He's got this base up and running. He shouldn't be too offset by this.
And that's 350, including the drone. He is only on 40 drones, so I guess the 2-base situation is pretty good. But he doesn't have a lot of minerals to spare for that. That hurt a little.
It did, but at the same time, Jjakji's only just recently gotten his 3rd up. The orbital's not even finished, so I'd say this levels the playing field at best. It doesn't really give him a big lead.
Yeah. The mutas, though, I mean, like, Jaedong he's known for mutas. Even in StarCraft 2, I think you could kind of attribute those units with him. It does lose one right off the bat, so that was...
But he gets to the safety zone, behind the turrets. There's a couple Marines chasing, sure, but there's still openings for him to harass. Second turret over here is a little bit too scary. He's going to be on the run. Widowmine's going down too, but that muta actually lives.
Yeah. But even so, like, Jaedong has talent with him that he will be able to buy a lot of time, hopefully, because he certainly needs it. He doesn't have any lings right now. Okay, he has 15 lings, 9 banelings. That's actually enough for the first push. So he's actually pretty darn safe. Creep spread is okay. He just have 2 queens go, or 3 queens actually. Yeah, 3 queens in total going everywhere. So it should actually just like skyrocket until Jjakji can come over here and deny that.
I just had a production heart attack, by the way. I was reading chat, which I shouldn't have been doing, admittedly, and I thought that I spelled Jaedong's name wrong in the overlay, and I'm like, oh dear. You guys, you got me. You got me.
You spell it Jaedong?
No, Jaedong.
Jaedong.
I don't know. Jaedong, donk, donk, donk. Where's Tempo? We need that song, right? Jaedong, dong, dong, dong. Okay, so the bailing count is pretty large, and more to the point, he's got speed. But the thing is, for Jjakji, like, I'd say his defense is not looking too shabby at all. There's Widowmine spread out pretty far. There's a lot of Marines. I mean, as long as as long as Jjakji controls and doesn't go AFK with his units or something, he should be okay. But here comes the swarm of banelings. We'll see if the Widowmines can get the shots. He unburrows them, not wanting to go off with the Zerglings. Tries to retarget on top of the banelings. Oh, nice shots! And I want to stress, Jjakji is one of the players we have seen in the past regularly focus fire with Widowmines. Not a lot of players actually do this, but Jjakji almost always does. And I guarantee you that hit just now was because of his control.
That was not worth it for Jaedong. You know, he would have had a fantastic fight. The creep spread would have been even farther than it is now on creep, and he would have been able to macro. That just put him behind. I mean, it was kind of an even game, actually, despite not losing to a 2-Rax. But that was, I'd say he was behind, yeah.
But that's that's kind of what I was getting before, though, right? Like, he was too close to the all-in side of things. His drone count is so low behind this.
Yeah, I couldn't, like, I couldn't say, like, whether the drone count was normal for, like, after a 2-Rax, though. Like, it's really hard to say. But, you know, maybe it was. And I think more importantly, no Evo chambers. There are no upgrades.
Well, we've definitely seen this work in a situation where you don't need melee upgrades if you've got 90 banelings, but Jaedong's not going to be getting there anytime soon.
Yeah, that's not a...
I do enjoy that he did invest in the mutas, though. As much as they are kind of scarce at the moment, if he can get these up to like 20, even if there's Thors and even if there's Widowmines, mutas still have a huge role to play in this matchup.
Yeah. I just wish he had not done that attack. He gotta have felt that like he should have all in because he didn't have upgrades, because he had all these lings and not enough drones, but yeah, probably better not to have done that. A drop goes off to the left. This will not be scouted. There really isn't a whole lot of Overlord coverage. The mutas on the wrong side of the map. Well,
actually, the creep tumors.
Well, it should have been scouted sooner.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna be responded to.
It's not a tumor.
Of lings go over there. This is a huge attack from Jjakji. I mean, if Jaedong had not done an attack, he would be probably on even supply. Going this far in a creep would just be like suicide for Jjakji. But Jjakji's actually feeling pretty confident. You know, he has a couple of forces distracting everything he needs to. He's going to play it pretty safe and actually pull back off of creep. And they also scout there's no fourth, so he's got to be feeling pretty good.
Well, I really like that push. Well, it didn't run into a bunch of banelings. Nice step on the medevac, too. Well, it didn't run into a bunch of banelings and it didn't do a lot of direct damage. It took away a lot of that map control. I mean, everybody knows if you play Terran or you play Zerg, maybe it's the few Protoss in the audience who don't, but like that creep spread is a huge deal when it comes to picking engagements for both sides. As a Terran, you never really want to fight on creep if you can avoid it, and as a Zerg player, you never want to fight off of it. That speed bonus is way too big of a deal when you're playing with banelings and Zerglings.
I was looking for his creep queens, and I found them. They should be over in the middle of the map again, replenishing that destroyed creep. Yeah,
wrapped around the north side. It's not terrible either. He'll get a scout on this medevac coming. Problem is, there's not Mutalisks over here to defend. They're busy trying to harass in the main, which, admittedly, not a bad choice, but still not going to catch it. He will get a couple medevacs for free, though. This is quite nice for Jaedong.
Yeah, I think that was a nice harass, but as you said, he does
Oh my god.
Holy sh!
That's a lot of Widowmines that snuck in, and he's so good at avoiding them, because if he had flown over that, he would have lost the entirety of his Mutalisks.
That was overkill. There was no way he wouldn't lose all of his Mutalisks, but if that drop does successfully land, I mean, it's not doing so much. Jaedong is in position, and Jaedong so far starting to get back up in supply.
But look at this. It's 0-0 versus 2-2. These Zerglings barely tickle the Marines, even without the medevac.
They're about to have 1-1 at least. But 3-3 is already on the way for Jjakji, as well as a 4th command center, more production. He's got that really, really, really nice army. I mean, usually it's okay because it only has like 4 Widowmines, but no, he has 10 Widowmines. That's nice.
This is getting really scary for Jaedong. He's down in supply. He's down in upgrades. His drone count's not on 90 to carry him with an economy behind this. I do like that he's continuing to try to expand, but his attempts to harass, I feel, are perhaps maybe misfocused. He's not really caused a lot of damage to the SCV line. He's actually, for the first time, actually going to drive Jjakji back home, maybe. But, I mean, for the most part, it's going to be so difficult to actually get enough damage done where Jjakji stops pushing. Because for Jjakji's sake, at this point, you're like, well, okay, I guess maybe I'll base trade it. You know, I got a large army.
I mean, Jaedong is buying more time than I thought he would. I thought after that attack, Jjakji, without being like 30 supply, would just counterattack and win. And that hasn't happened. Jaedong has also been a little more careful, more conservative with his banelings. Again, that attack in the earlier stage just did not get what he wanted to do. So he's not been like throwing it away to terrible counterattack. Oh, I guess that free medevac is free. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, every little bit counts. We got a couple of Widowmines going off, though, here. Not just a couple, 3. Clear out that mineral line. 18 kills in total. That's going to sting. For Jaedong, who's already on an incredibly low drone count, goes down even lower to 45. You know, at this point in the game, Zerg player, you're playing heavy banelings, you want to see 90. You want to see 80. You don't want to see 50 drones.
And also a 4th base killed. Cleans that up, but he's out of money in the main. He's actually kind of low on that 3rd, because of course the natural is the one that was sniped.
Yeah, so this is like his actual 3rd.
Yeah, it's pretty healthy. 3-3 is also about the finish for Jjakji, and that's kind of be the nail in the coffin. I mean, with that done, he clicks on Jaedong since it's still 1-1. He's got to be like, okay, I could just push.
There's one benefit, though. One small benefit going for Jaedong. Because his drone count is so low, he's going to have so many extra Zerglings, so many extra banelings in a fight you wouldn't normally have an even army supply on, much less an overwhelming one. If he can max out, there's a chance he might be able to beat Jjakji in one big engagement and follow through with that flood of lings that tends to overwhelm and win. The likelihood of this is very low, but that's probably his best bet to win this game.
That is true. But like you said, like the whole getting that ball rolling, where he does the counterattack and win with lings, that doesn't really happen in late game. I mean, he's on how many barracks? 8. Okay, 8 isn't that great. Maybe 12 would have been really great, but even still.
That planetary shot was so good; it killed all the banelings.
Yeah.
You know, off the back end of a 2-racks, though, I mean, the way this went for both players, I'm first off a little bit shocked that this went so well for Jjakji. The recovery process was really scary, but he's played this out quite well. On the other hand, too, for Jaedong, like, I'm not saying, like, he was in a position of power. I mean, he did take a lot of damage from the 2-racks, but it was one of those ones where you kept that hatchery alive. I'm surprised he didn't get to overwhelm, that he didn't get to a point prior to this where he won.
Yeah, I thought it was a good position just because of the control of the game that he had. Jjakji had to be the one on the back foot, kind of like, can I move out? Can I take a natural? Can I take a 3rd? And I guess, you know, he actually could. He was very patient about it. Big counterattack from Jaedong.
That's like 50 lings each direction, but those Widowmine shots, oh my god, they're going to clear out so many of these Zerglings. The Thor's going to get some shots too. Yeah. But I mean, at this point for Jjakji, it's not about killing the SCVs, which he's not even going to do, or for Jaedong rather, it's trying to win the game, and he's lost everything here on the front line. He's got no momentum left. Army supply almost half that of Jjakji. And the banelings, even if they connect to every unit here, which they will, it's not going to be enough.
There's also an attack at the 4th, but there's also drops going on in the main and natural. The attack at the 4th, Jjakji didn't do anything. The drops are still alive, and there's actually a double drop in the natural. Jaedong's having enough to deal with this. Yes, GG.
All right, good game. Jjakji will take game number 1 in this best of 3. Crazy to consider that. That was game 1.